Imagine, right now, being pulled from your home. You are dropped into an absolute nightmare. You have no clean water. You have almost zero food. You are forced to do the hardest, most painful physical work imaginable. You work under a burning sun, from the very second you wake up until you literally pass out from exhaustion. If that happened to you today, your body would completely shut down in less than a week. Your heart would simply give out. Your kidneys would fail. You would die. But what happens when an entire group of human beings is trapped in these exact, deadly conditions? Not just for a week. Not just for a year. But for hundreds of years. What happens when an entire system is perfectly, ruthlessly designed to work a human being to death? The answer is terrifying, but it is also incredible. The human body refuses to die. Instead of giving up, it aggressively changes its own rules. It rewrites its own DNA. It creates literal superpowers just to survive the unsurvivable. Today, we are looking at one of the darkest times in human history. We are going to uncover the shocking biological changes that came from the horrors of slavery. And if you want to know the incredible secrets hiding in your own DNA, you need to hit that subscribe button right now. We uncover the darkest and most amazing mysteries of human history every single week, and you really don't want to miss what we find next. Normally, the human body takes thousands of years to change. Evolution is a very slow process. But when people face extreme, deadly stress right now, the body hits the panic button and adapts fast. When millions of human beings were stolen from their homes and forced onto wooden ships, they faced a biological nightmare. They were packed in the dark for months. The heat was unbearable. But the absolute deadliest killer on those ships wasn't the heat, and it wasn't even the disease. It was the lack of water. Your body is mostly water. You need it to keep your blood pumping. Without it, your blood turns thick, like syrup. Your organs dry up and stop working. In these horrific conditions, normal human biology fails entirely. But the people who survived this deadly journey had a secret weapon hidden deep inside their biology. Scientists call it the salt survival secret. The trauma of having no water was so extreme that their bodies learned to hold on to salt like never before. By keeping all the salt inside their bodies, their cells locked the water inside. Their bodies simply refused to let them dry out in a place where anyone else would have died. It was a biological superpower. It was a desperate, brilliant trick that kept their hearts beating when millions of others stopped. Today, this exact survival trick is the reason why many descendants of enslaved people have high blood pressure. Modern doctors look at high blood pressure and call it a medical problem. But history tells us the real truth. It is the biological armor of their ancestors. It is the exact thing that kept their blood flowing through the darkest nights of human history. But surviving the ocean was just the beginning of the nightmare. Once they were forced to work, their bodies faced an impossible puzzle. Think about modern athletes. To build muscle and work hard, they eat thousands of calories, massive amounts of protein, and take vitamins. Now, how do you work like a machine when you are fed like a starving bird? Enslaved people were given almost no food. They had terrible rations with barely any protein. At the exact same time, they were forced to do bone-crushing work for up to 18 hours a day. Normally, if you work out all day without eating, your body eats itself. It eats its own muscles and its own heart just to keep your brain alive. You waste away. But against all odds, these people survived. They built incredible strength. They endured the unendurable. How is this even possible? Their bodies went into an extreme lockdown mode. They learned to squeeze every single drop of energy from the terrible food they were given. Their metabolism slowed way down to save energy when they were resting. But when they were working, their muscles learned to fire on almost zero oxygen. Their bones actually got denser. They became biological titans. They were running on an empty tank, yet they generated the power that built the modern world. If learning about how strong and amazing the human body really is blows your mind, take 1 second to subscribe to the channel. We are building a massive community of curious minds, and we want you with us for the next big discovery. The physical changes were amazing. But the most powerful survival trick of all didn't happen in the muscles or the bones. It happened invisibly, inside the mind. How does a human brain not break under the weight of lifelong slavery? How do you keep going when your family is torn apart, and you live in constant danger every single day? The human mind is actually very fragile. Extreme pain usually breaks it completely. But once again, the human machine refused to break. Modern science just discovered something truly mind-blowing. Trauma doesn't just give you bad memories. It actually changes the chemical shape of your DNA. And the craziest part? You pass those genetic changes down to your children. When enslaved people faced unspeakable horrors, their bodies were flooded with stress hormones. Over time, their DNA rewrote how they handle stress. They developed a superhuman level of mental toughness. They didn't just suffer. They fought back mentally. They created new languages. They built strong communities in secret. They formed deep spiritual bonds. This was their mental shield against a world that was trying to destroy them. Their DNA learned how to absorb pain that would have instantly broken a normal mind. They didn't just survive. They passed down a biological strength that is almost impossible to measure. The children, grandchildren, and great-grandchildren of these survivors carry the biological memory of the ultimate fighters right inside their cells. It is a crazy realization: the human body can mutate in real time to beat absolute evil. History books usually focus on the money, the chains, and the cruelty. But they miss the biggest point. They completely forget the biological miracle of the people who lived through it. The story of enslaved humans is not just a story of victims. Scientifically speaking, it is the story of the toughest, most indestructible human beings to ever walk the earth. Their bodies took the absolute worst punishment ever designed by human cruelty, and their biology fought back and won. So the next time you wonder what a human being can survive, the next time you think about your own limits, remember this dark history. Remember that inside human DNA, there is a sleeping giant. A survival code so strong it can turn starvation, thirst, and pain into an unbreakable biological armor. Thank you for walking through this deep and dark history with us today. If this video changed how you see human strength and the miracles of our DNA, prove it by hitting the subscribe button and leaving a like. We are decoding the secrets that history tried to hide every single week, and we want you right here in our tribe. Until next time, respect the past, honor the survivors, and never underestimate the power of the human body.